Hey everyone, welcome to this session on React testing using Jest and Jest testing library. Testing is an essential part of web development. It ensures our web applications are stable, reliable and bug-free. In this video, we will cover everything from setting up Jest to testing user interaction and mocking API calls. Let's get started. So here is the setting up Jest and React testing library. So Jest is a pre-install when you use create React app. But if you are setting up manually, install React testing library with this command. Now you can see here we have npm install save dev @testing library and slash react @testing library jest.dom. Now we copy this code and here we have a code editor. Now we use cd here for my first project. Now I'm inside in our project. Now we use that code npm install. Now we enter. You can see so this is probably invalid like save dev or element. So here we use you can see here we have npm install save dev testing. Now here is successfully installed. Now make sure your package.json contains the script for running tests. So here we have create a package.json. Where is my package.json? Here we have, you can see we have a react script test. Now here we use npm test. Now here run source app.js. Now here you can see it's a test source pass one total, and here we have passed one total. I can see successfully passed. Now let's start by testing if a simple button components render correctly. So here we create button.js. Now we create a button.js. Now here we have app.test.js and it suits one pass, and here also a pass. Now we save this. I can see we have button.test.js. Now it's also a pass. Here we use a button from button, and here we render button with label, and here we use a button label click me, and here screen.get by text to be in the document. So here we have a testing. Now you can see here we have a app.js, and here we have a button.test.js, or here we use a test suits it's to pass. It's also a pass. This stat does three things. A render mounts the components in a virtual DOM. Screen.get by text finds the button, and here we have a expect to being the document verifies that button exists. Now let's test user interaction like button clicks. We will create a simple counter component. So here we have a import react use states, and here we have a counter, you can see, and here we have a counter.test.js. Now first create counter.js file. Now here we create a counter.as.js. Now here you can see we have a code. We save this. I can see here we have here a third pass counter.test.js. I can see here we have three test pass. Here what happened in this test, like a fire event, we use here dot click button simulates a button click, and here we have the counter update and the test verifies the changes. Now the next is mocking API calls with Jest. When testing component does fetch data from an API, we don't want to make a real network request. Instead, we mock API call using Jest. So here we have a fetching user data example, and here we have a user.js file, and here we have a user.test.js. I can see here we have a fetch API like https json placeholder.type code. Now we create user.js file. Here we use this code. Now we create a next file like user test.js. Now create user test.js. Now we copy this code and paste it here. Now it's failed because we don't have a John Doe in the fetch API and it's not fetch it, so that's why its test is failed. Now the next is snapshot test. Capture a component output and compare it to previous version, ensuring UI consistency. So here we have a button.test.js. Now you can see here we import a render, and here we have a button, and here we have a fragment, and accept a fragment here. Now we copy this code and paste it in my button.test.js. You can see here we have a fragment. Now we save this. Let's take time. Now it's perfectly a snapshot written here. Now you can see here we have one snapshot, and here we have a three files, and it's all a pass. So here how snapshot testing works. So here is a as fragment, capture the component output, and just store a snapshots and compare future render. To write better test, follow this best practice. So test behavior, not implementation. Focus on what the user experience. And the next is use screen queries. Prefer screen dot get by text over container dot query selector. And the next is mock external dependency. Avoid flashy network dependency test. And the next use wait for method for async code. Ensure project handling of API response. And the next is write the predictive test cases. Keep test readable and clear. And the last is run test frequently. Catch issue early in development. That's wrap up our session on React testing with Jest and React testing library. We cover unit test, user interaction, API mocking, and snapshot testing. By following this technique, you can ensure your React apps are stable and bug free. If you have any question, feel free to ask in the comment. Keep smiling and happy coding. Thank you.